Hey, I hope everyone had a wonderful day. Depending on wherever you are in the world, obviously, I know that we are in different time zones. So for me, it's 5:30 here, and I hope you had a wonderful day. For those who are in the same time zone, as you're coming in, feel free to say hello, introduce yourself, let me know where you're joining from. Today, we're talking about how to raise your profile and get promoted. I hope you noticed that I've upgraded my camera situation. I was looking at my live last week and I was like, but why is my video quality so horrible? And I went and a few months ago, a friend kindly gifted me a camera that I've been using to do my YouTube videos. And I was like, well, why don't I just use the camera as a webcam for my live streams? It took a while for me to realize that I had this resource in the house and I could use it. So I just did a quick YouTube search on how to set it up, and it's working, and I'm happy it's working. I haven't figured out how to get the mic connected to it yet, but I hope my sound is still good in spite of all of that. So I'm getting better. Week after week, I'll get better and better. Hi, Ebenezer. Thanks for being here. I'm glad that you joined us. Today, we're talking about two main things when it comes to how to raise your profile and get promoted. The first thing is we want to understand the system. Understanding the system is very important and it's key to success, especially for those who are talking about internal promotions, which is where we'll put a little bit more of the emphasis on, because really when it's a promotion, it's often within the same organization. Obviously, a lot of these strategies as well can work when you're looking to get a role with another company. Thank you, Denise, for confirming that the sound is good. Thank you. So yes, I'll figure out the microphone for next time, but we'll use what we have for now. And then the second thing I'll get into is demonstrating your expertise and showing how your expertise is important, but also you need to be able to know as a leader how to manage the expertise of other people. So those are the two main things we're going to focus on today. If we do have time, I'll get into questions as well. Hi, Andre. Thanks for being here. And hey, thanks for connecting here on Instagram. Where am I from? My family is from Ghana. I am located in Ottawa, Canada at the moment. So I'm not far from you. Frequency events, I'm 4 hours away from you. So not too far. All right. So let's get into the topic. So the first thing about understanding the system, every organization functions very differently, whether you're in the private sector, public sector, not-for-profit, or even from company to company, the system can be very different. You know, I've shared a couple of times online how I have been able to land 5 promotions in less than 8 years. And I remember one of the times that I shared the story on LinkedIn, someone got really upset that, how is that possible? It's not possible. And just, sent me some really interesting comments. But the thing is that we all operate in different organizations, in different countries, in different systems. So even though this may not necessarily be applicable to you in terms of maybe your organization doesn't have as many steps, maybe from the level that I was to get to the level that I went to, maybe in your organization is just actually 2 steps or 3 steps. But that doesn't really matter. What really matters is that you arrive at the destination, at the end of the day, that's really what matters, that you reach your goal and that you are able to achieve that goal. So, that's the perspective that I want to encourage you to think of, that as much as maybe you're working and functioning in a different system, this can still be applicable to you, and take really what works for where you work and for your organization, and then apply those things to be able to see the change that you want to see. I'm going to be talking about 6 different types of promotional systems that exist. Obviously, there may be more, and depending on where you are, you may function in a different system. But what I'm going to go through now is how to better understand what are the options available in the different promotional systems. So the first one is a lot of organizations, especially in the past, now it's becoming less and less, but many organizations used to hire just based on seniority. So seniority based high promotions is depending on the length of service that you've had in the organization or how long you've been with the company. That's what determines your promotion opportunities. That's what dictates basically whether or not you're going to get a promotion. So that is one kind of system that does exist. A lot of times, what I'm going to be sharing with you, what you will notice is that maybe in your organization, what they're using is a combination of these different things. They may be using seniority, but with another system as well. So understanding the system is important because then you know what steps you need to put in place to be able to achieve the goal that you want to achieve. The other type of system that exists is a merit-based system, sometimes called a meritocracy, and that is when it's based on your performance. It's really based on your job-related skills, your knowledge, your ability, and often the employer has different systems or methods to be able to evaluate performance. So they may do performance appraisals, they may do 360-degree feedback, there could be productivity metrics. These are some of the different ways that they use in a merit-based promotion system to be able to determine who is going to get the promotion. So that's a second type of system. So seniority-based is the first that I went through. The second one is merit-based. The third one can be a skill-based promotion system, and this is a system where it's different from the merit-based because this is basically seeing how you've been able to acquire new skills, new knowledge, new competencies that are necessary to help you get to the next level. So it's really evaluating your skills based on the requirements for that next level that you're trying to achieve. Another one of the job promotion systems is the job posting system or job application system. So this is a system where you need to apply to an open position within your company before it goes out to other people externally. Sometimes it may go out to other people externally. Sometimes they have a separate system where you apply only internally, and then they have a separate system entirely for those who are applying externally. So this is often in large organizations, and it's really the idea is to support people with internal mobility and their career development, essentially. The other type of system is a management nomination system. This is the system where the manager will identify that this person has exceptional performance, they're great at what they do, and this person is deserving of a promotion. So the manager or the director or whoever recommends that person for a promotion. And then the last type of system is an assessment center. So this is where there are often assessments that are put in place, whether it's interviews, role plays, exams, project-based. There are different assessments that they're going to put in place to be able to evaluate people and determine who is going to get the position at the higher level. Sometimes they call it a competition. So those are some of the different types of ways that organizations use to promote people. And if you're someone who wants to raise your profile at work and you want to land a promotion, you need to know what system is being used in your organization, because understanding the system will help you understand how you're going to be able to move up. I worked with a lady a couple of years ago. I think this was 2 years ago. She had stayed in the same position for a very long time, and she was so frustrated, and she was telling me, nobody's considering me for promotions, and I'm working hard and whatever. And I asked her, like, so in your organization, how do people normally get promoted? You're seeing people around you, they get promoted. Is it the manager who's promoting them, or how exactly are they getting promoted? So she told me that no, it's an application-based system where you need to apply for the promotion, and then from there you do certain assessments assessments. So I was asking her, okay, like, what have you applied for so far? And she was telling me she has not applied. So in my head, I'm like, okay, you're complaining that you're not getting promoted, yet you're not applying for any of these promotions that are opening up in your organization. You're waiting for your manager to give you the promotion, yet that's not how it works in your organization. In your organization, you need to apply. You need to go through a formal process to be able to get promoted. So it's really important as professionals that we know what is the system in my organization. I'm looking to move up. There's some organizations, it's a matter of asking. You ask and the manager can bring it up to a board or to the partners, and then they make the decision that, yes, this person is qualified, we want them to move up. But not every organization is set up in that way. So the onus is on you as a professional to understand what's the system for my organization. And once you understand that, you make a plan to be able to get where you want to be when you understand the system. So that's the first thing that's really important in raising your profile. Whether you reach out to your human resource department to be able to get the employee handbook, to understand what the process is in your organization. If you are a unionized employee, finding out what the collective agreement is, and reading the collective agreement to understand what the process to move up is. I've worked recently with some unionized employees at a university, and they were explaining this to me, and it's just interesting from organization to organization how the system can be extremely different in terms of how you move up in your career and how you accelerate your career. So it's quite important that as an individual, as a professional, that you take the time to understand how does it work in my workplace, so that you're not making any assumptions that your manager is going to give you a promotion, but that's not how it works in your organization. So that's the first thing you want to keep in mind. The second thing is that it's really important as you're seeking a promotion that you understand that when you're moving up in your career, it's no longer solely about your individual work and your individual contributions, but it's also about you being able to manage the expertise of other people. When you're starting off in your career, it's quite essential that you do your work excellently, that you do your work very well, because when you're being evaluated, when your performance is being evaluated, it's based on your performance solely. That's what matters. That's what is the key factor when you're an individual contributor. But as time progresses, you will realize that, especially as you start to become a supervisor, a team leader, a manager, director, and move higher in the organization, it's not only based on your expertise solely, it's also based on how you're able to manage the expertise of other people. People management skills become very important. So when you're starting off your career, the hard skills are extremely important. Those technical skills of the knowledge that you bring, the skills that you bring are extremely important. As you progress, you'll see that more and more and more, the soft skills are what is being evaluated. How are you in terms of communicating to your team? How are you in terms of being adaptable to various situations? How do you deal with stress? Are you able to deal with conflict, have a conversation about resolving a conflict with your team? Those are the things that become more important as you progress and move up in your career. So keeping that in mind, it's really important that as a professional, you're not only prioritizing just the hard skills that come with your job or whatever industry that you're in, but you're also focusing on building those soft skills that are necessary to get you to those higher levels. Earlier this week or last week, I can't remember, but I shared a post about the PI formula by Harvey Coleman. And the PI formula is basically based on three things. And it's a theory, it's a formula. It's not a principle that everybody has to live by, because I always want to give the disclaimer that your organization is different, and your career path is different as well. So what he says is that what the three things that are important in your career is performance, your image, and your exposure. And he explains that 10% of your career success should go towards your performance, your job and how well you do it, your day-to-day work, and really how you're delivering on quality work. He then says that you should put 30% towards your image, so building your personal brand, how you're showing up in terms of visibility in the workplace. And right now, this theory was in the 90s, so there wasn't necessarily online branding at that time, but right now we can add in online branding as well on social media, on various tools that you're using to be able to build your brand. And then he says to succeed in your career, 60% as well should go towards your exposure. So how connected are you? And not just how connected are you to people or just generally, but to the right stakeholders. There's emphasis on it being the right people in your industry, the people who are the decision makers who can actually help you get where you want to be. So based on this theory, what he really emphasizes is that your network and your brand are, as you move up in your career and you want to succeed in your career, they become more and more important compared to the quality of your work or the emphasis on your individual work. And for sure, anyone can debate whether the breakdown of the percentage is accurate or not, whether it should be 10, 30, 60, or it should be a different breakdown. That's fine. There's no issue with debating a theory, but I think what's more important is that understanding the rationale behind it, and it goes in line with what I'm explaining, that as you move up in your career, what becomes more and more important is those soft skills of you being able to understand how to manage people and how to work with people and how to make those right connections, how to build a strong network around you that will help you get where you want to be. And as you move up in a system, it becomes more and more important compared to your individual work, because a lot of times, especially as you move up in the system within an organization, you may not even be the person who's doing the day-to-day work. You're just managing other people's work. So that's something to keep in mind as well when it comes to your career and your career progression. And I've seen this so many times working with different professionals that, they're working so hard. And I've experienced this in my career as well, working so hard, delivering results and not understanding why nobody is noticing you, or, you are even applying for promotion, or you're doing the evaluations or whatever is necessary, but still it's not working. And a lot of times the missing component is that exposure piece. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what value you bring to the organization, even though you are working very hard. It's what I'll say, it's show and tell. It's very important. You need to show that you can do the job. Yes, it's really important that you can work really hard and deliver results, but you also need to tell. And by tell, I mean, you need to be able to talk about your work. You need to be able to articulate it in a way that people know that you're the person who delivered that. You're the person who brought in this amount of money at the organization. You're the person who's working on this project. You need to be able to show and tell what you are doing at work. So those are the two components that are extremely important when it comes to being able to raise your profile and get promoted. Firstly, understand the system. Wherever you work, take the time to understand, what is the system in my organization? How does it work in my organization? Don't make any assumptions. Yes, maybe you read a post online that said, go and ask for a promotion, and somebody asked for a promotion, got 40K pay raise. Yay, great. I'm happy it worked for them. But that may not be your story, because that may not be how it works in your organization, in the system that you work in. For example, I had delivered a workshop last year that was how I I can't even remember the title. How I Landed 5 Promotions in 8 Years. I think that's what it was called. And the next day, there's a lady who attended the workshop that sent me a message that they got a promotion the very next day. They applied all the strategies that I shared during that webinar. They went and they asked to their manager for promotion, and they were able to get the promotion the very next day to become a manager. It doesn't work like that in every organization. In some places you work, it takes months to get through the process of even landing a promotion. It's not just I walk in my boss's office and I ask them for the promotion and I got it, right? So please do the research, inform yourself to know what's the process in your organization. And then when you know that, it's important not only to focus on your skills and doing your work. That's extremely important. And I think that's just basics. Yes, we all deliver quality work. That's very important. But also work on those soft skills, because those are the ones that are going to help you to be able to accelerate your career, and making sure that you're connecting yourself with the right stakeholders, the right people who are the decision makers that can help you progress in your career. So I have a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop a question. Let me know as well. Those who are joining live, give me a little wave, a little hello if you're joining live. And if you're here for the replay, I would love to know that as well. I am in the process now. We launched on Monday the Career CEO Experience. I'm really, really excited about that. The Career CEO Experience, it's a membership program where I help professionals to be able to land a six-figure salary. So the idea is that we really want to be able to own our careers and own our career paths. Recently, book, The Perfect Day to Boss Up by Rick Ross. And, it's the kind of book that just gets you really, really motivated. It's the kind of book that just causes you to stop making excuses and really boss up to be able to do what you need to do. And that's the kind of energy that we're bringing to the Career CEO Experience. It's all about taking action, bossing up, and really making sure that there are no excuses as to why we weren't able to get where we want to be, but we're embracing our skills, we're embracing our awesomeness, and I'm teaching professionals how to leverage their skills to be able to grow professionally and in their own personal lives. And so that's what the program is all about. And there are different levels of membership in terms of joining the Career CEO Experience. It starts at $25 a month for the Build membership, where you get access to a monthly training as well as the community. And then it goes up to $150 a month, where you get access to one-on-one coaching with me once a month. You get access to a Q&A session, a LinkedIn or resume review during the month. You get access to the community, obviously, and also a training once a month. So there's lots that's included for the value of $150 a month. So I will share the link to the Career CEO Experience with you here. For those who are interested in joining us, I would love to have you. Just reach out to me, send me a message saying CEO, as just so I know why you're reaching out, and I will send you more details on the program. Any questions? Okay, Antoinette is saying, I never heard of the pie theory. Interesting. Yes, it's a good one to be able to really understand what's important when it comes to your career development. And I think it's a good one that helps us understand the value of building our personal brand, and the value of also building a good network around us that can help us progress in our careers. Okay. Well, thank you for joining. I'll be back next Thursday. Next Thursday, we're doing a Q&A session. I'm going to make a post soon to ask you any questions that you have, any career-related questions. I'll be here for 30 minutes just answering your questions. So feel free to even send me a message with some of the questions that you may have that you want me to answer during next week's live. And I would love to do that. I want to help you grow and excel in your career. So do take advantage of that and come back next week at 5:30 to discuss and get your questions answered. Other than that, next month, for the month of May, we have our stories that are beginning. I'm calling them stories, but I have a couple of people who are coming on. These are professionals in different professions, and they're going to be talking about their journey of becoming whatever they became in their careers. How did they go about it? What process did they take? What challenges did they face? And the idea is really to help and encourage those who are looking to get into that field or who are looking to excel or progress in that field. So that's coming up in May, so stay tuned. Thanks for joining the live today, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.